KTSM 9 News after the game starts right now.
Well, it wasn't quite the barn burner that we saw last week, but hey, it's Sunday Night Football. You love to see it on NBC as the Atlanta Falcons top the Minnesota Vikings 22-6 the final. Thank you for sticking with KTSM 9 News after the game. I'm Andy Morgan alongside Kelly Horzen and Robert Bettis. I'll tell you this, kind of comical that the game's only touchdown tonight was legitimately a gimme. The unfortunate part of this game is you had El Paso's very own Aaron Jones playing in it, suffered a hamstring injury, and he did not return in this game.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate too, especially when you saw what he was able to do last year. It looked like he was going to come in and make an even bigger impact for this Minnesota team here in 2025. So we don't know what it's looking like at this point in time, but definitely something we'll continue to follow up on either way. Like Andy said, not looking good, especially when you saw just 6 points, 2 field goals for the Vikings. Not very promising.
They're kind of a mystery right now.
Yeah, they really are. They really, really are.
I've prepared a written statement.
Okay.
I love the football. I love it even more when I pick the winner, yet didn't know what city the team is from.
Call that an instinct.
Congratulations,
Call that
Robert.
a gut feeling.
Yeah, congratulations. Here's what Robert is talking about. I'm gonna try to be a good sport about this as much as I absolutely can. How about we're gonna start with Kelly, because Kelly's 3-0 right now after picking the Falcons, and Robert, all of a sudden at 2-1 as he also picked the Falcons.
It's that supernatural ability to pick the football.
So maybe he is onto something. I will say, I know we'll get into it in a little bit. Andy, we'll talk about fantasy. My fantasy team is not looking too good this year in either one of the leagues I'm in. So I'm going to put all my eggs here in our record that we do every single Sunday night. So I'm going to take this pretty seriously going forward and try to take this lead and go somewhere with it. But looking back at tonight's game, we're going to go over a couple of the highlights, and it was a game of the defenses. The Falcons matchup against the Vikings. Both these second-year quarterbacks out of the 2023 draft class really struggling to find the end zone throughout the night. Picking things up at 5:25 left in the first quarter. Falcons up 6 on 2 field goals. James Pierce Jr. and Brandon Dorless on the sack, each their first of their professional careers. We're going to fast forward 1:39 in the first. Falcons ball. Michael Penix Jr. connects with Drake London, but it will result in a forced fumble for Eric Wilson and recovered by the Vikings' Theo Jackson. Now, ensuing drive for the Vikings, Justin Jefferson will meet a milestone this pass to Jefferson, marking his 500th career reception, tying Larry Fitzgerald as the youngest to reach the mark and 13th in NFL history to do so in their first 6 seasons. Nothing will come of the turnover. Same score, 8:31 in the second quarter. Jalen Walker out of Georgia with his first career sack as well. Everyone really on this Atlanta defense truly flying around tonight. Minnesota able to tack on a field goal. Falcons still out in front 6-3. McCarthy looking for Jalen Naylor. Billy Bowman rose over the top of Naylor for the pick. Atlanta's late game TD by Tyler Alger. 3:25 to go in the game would close the game pretty much here. Falcons will defeat the Vikings 22-6. Now, looking back earlier in the day, Giants versus the Cowboys in a classic rivalry game. Great game, picking things up in the fourth quarter. 6:14 to go, 23-20 New York. Dallas on the 4-yard line. Miles Sanders for the carry, and the touchdown will put Dallas in front 27-23. 2:50 to go in the game. Russell Wilson looking awfully comfortable in a Giants uniform this week. Airs it out to Wan'Dale Robinson. Giants will take back its lead 30-27 after this. Now 55 seconds on the clock. Dak Prescott to George Pickens on the 6-yard reception. Pickens' very first touchdown for Dallas of the year. Cowboys back on top 34-30. And this game is still not over. 33 seconds. Wilson deep ball again. This one is going to go to Malik Neighbors over the top of the double coverage. Will bring this one in for 6 points. 37-34 New York. Cowboys' last drive will get them to the 64-yard line. Brandon Aubrey looking for the game tying field goal. Nails it and will send this one into overtime. And what better way to end this game than the man who sent this one into overtime? Another Aubrey field goal, this one on the 46-yarder. Dallas takes its 9th straight against the New York Giants, defeating them 40-37 in OT. Now moving over to a Super Bowl rematch, Eagles versus Chiefs. Scoreless game nearing the end of the first quarter. 52 seconds on the clock. Saquon Barkley is going to break through for the first score of the night. Eagles up 7-0. Philly remains up 7-3. Play clock winding down. Chiefs gets the snap off in time. Patrick Mahomes is going to take this one himself. Dives for the pylon and he's in. Chiefs will take the 10-3 lead. Philly tacks on a field goal to enter the locker room at half. Back on top 13-10. They'll extend this lead further in true Philly fashion on the tush push Jalen Hurts in for 6, and just over 3 minutes left in the game. Eagles up 20-10, and Mahomes on the 49-yard touchdown pass to Tyquan Thornton. Chiefs close in 20-17, but Eagles defense will do the rest. Philadelphia 2-0 to start this season, while Kansas City is 0-2 after the Eagles defeat the Chiefs 20-17. Now looking at other scores in the league, Seahawks defeat the Steelers 31-17. Rams take down the Titans 33-19. Bills are going to dominate the Jets 30-10. Dolphins look much improved, but it's not enough to defeat the Patriots. New England tops Miami 33-27. Bengals defeat the Jaguars even without Joe Burrow 31-27. 49ers walk with the win, also without its QB1 Brock Purdy or tight end George Kittle, defeating the Saints 26-21. Ravens move to 1-1 with a win against the Browns 41-17. Lions in the win column for the first time this season after defeating the Bears 52-21. Now the Colts narrowly taking this one over the Broncos 29-28. As a Giants fan, I'm happy for Daniel Jones on that one. Cardinals are going to top the Panthers 27-22, excuse me. And looking ahead to Monday Night Football, the Bucs at the Texans tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. The Chargers also paying a visit to the Raiders as well tomorrow evening with the kickoff time at 8 p.m. And of course, NFL fans are hopeful for their respective teams all throughout the season. But when you're in a fantasy league, you're also finding yourself cheering for other teams when we look at individual players. This is where Andy Morgan is going to join us here for week 2 of Studs and Duds when it comes to fantasy leagues. Kind of an interesting one this season. Players playing under, players playing above, but we're also seeing a ton of injuries early on this year as well.
Yeah, that's right. And Kelly, it's been a little while since we've done this. We do this segment, of course, every week unless we finish a little late like we saw in week 1, both on the Thursday night opener as well as on Sunday Night Football when the Bills played the Ravens. But Studs and Duds back for another season, and I hope most of you were on the right side of some of these fantastic performances that we saw in week 2. I know I was on the opposite end of guys like Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra St. Brown this week, so yeah, tough sledding there. But if you're new to the program, we feature the players who outperform their projections, and a guy who has done it in back-to-back weeks is Drake May. He's QB4 so far this week. Passed for over 230 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns. Also ran for 30 yards and a score. He might be the steal of your drafts so far. At running back, Javonte Williams is reinvigorated in Dallas. Cowboys running back scored 6 touchdowns all of last year. Williams already has 3 touchdowns through the first 2 games this season. He's looking good. Bears wide receiver Rome Odunze found the end zone twice in Chicago's loss to the Lions today. I think he's surpassed DJ Moore as the top target for Caleb Williams in this offense. And then how about Tucker Kraft on Thursday? The Green Bay tight end dominated with 125 yards receiving and a touchdown. Keep starting Kraft with confidence. As for duds, these are guys who underperformed their projections. Justin Fields was ranked in the top 10 of after balling out last week. He was terrible today. 3 of 11 for 27 yards. He lost a fumble. Not a good day at the office for the Jets and Fields. Derrick Henry ran wild on Sunday Night Football last week despite that costly fumble that ended up costing the Ravens. The Ravens won today, but Henry non-existent in the offense. 11 carries, just 23 yards. Better days ahead for Henry. I'm starting to get concerned about Brian Thomas, who was a first-round pick in most of your fantasy drafts. The Jaguars receiver with just 4 receptions for 49 yards. His usage numbers, those are down and just looks out of sync with Trevor Lawrence. My patience is running thin here. And Evan Ingram was supposed to be the quote-unquote joker in the Broncos offense. 1 catch for 12 yards today. That was a joke. He was barely on the field, hitting the panic meter on this one too. So that's why you better be active on that waiver wire. Daniel Jones is going to be a popular ad. You heard Kelly mention him in that Colts scoreboard there, especially if your quarterback this week is Joe Burrow, who is expected to be out for the next 3 months with a toe injury. And Kelly, like we're doing on the program, in our newsroom league, I didn't get bragging rights over you last week. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that, especially after you went 3-0 in the pick'ems. TJ Hawkinson kind of giving you a little bit of trouble. It's the same way that Justin Fields, he gave me fits today. I think I'm going to be even Stevens at 1-1 thanks to Mr. Fields over there.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand in the league after here in week 2, but Hutchinson also giving me a hard time. Stephon Diggs as well. I was really excited for him to go over to New England, do some big things, but I think it might be time to hit the waiver wire, as you were saying. But our league, for reference, is 14 people deep. So what's
it's tough on the waiver wire.
Yes, everybody is already gone. We're talking injuries, and we're already talking maybe second, third, fourth string guys are options.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. I saw some guys who I believe were third string put up 20-something points. So maybe I'll just have to opt for a rotational.
One thing I will say,
deal.
so Sam, he got a win this week. We're going to plug him. He got a win over Jesus, who's our defending champion, now 0-2. And then how about Mr. Robert Bettis? Looks like he's going to get his first ever fantasy win this week. And you never forget that first win. Certainly some fun stuff.
Who would have thought the meteorologist is just smoking us all when it comes to sports?
2-1 in picks. You can hear him
Evil
in the
laugh
background
in the
now.
background.
Yes,
Trying to stay humble here today.
All right, Andy, thank you. Don't go anywhere. We will recap UTEP's game against Texas that took place yesterday. Although they were handed the loss, optimistic takeaways from that game. Plus, we're also going to take a look at New Mexico State football as well after a troubling second half for the Aggies, leading to them giving up 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter alone. All that and more coming up next.
An auto loan. Want 10 entries? Apply and get approved for your forever home. Score big with the brand new TV at OneSource today. Why? Because we're OneSource, of course.
Welcome back. Yesterday, UTEP football faced a big challenge, a road test against number 7 Texas over in Austin. The Miners came out strong on defense, but the Longhorns ended up pulling away with the win in the end. KTSM 9 Sports Director Sam Guzman was in Austin and gives us a look at how it all unfolded at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium.
UTEP faced a very tough test in week 3. The Miners took on number 7 Texas in front of a packed Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in college football.
They had 100,000 people in there, and that's not because they weren't loud. It's because I felt like our team was really, really locked in to their job, and they had elite level of focus.
It was just like another game. Like, we belong here. We deserve to be on that field just like they do.
UTEP's defense got off to a solid start. The Orange Swarm stepped up in the first half, holding Texas to just 1 touchdown and forcing 3 turnovers on downs in their first 4 drives.
Then our defense just played lights out. You know, the time of possession was lopsided, and our defense held strong. They had to earn every single thing that they got. and the Orange Swarm defense played elite.
Down 7-0 in the second quarter, UTEP's defense delivers. Pressure from the D-line forces Arch Manning into a tough throw on 4th and 2, and Xavier Smith picks it off in the end zone.
Once the play broke down, I was kind of a free player, so I was able to bait him up a little bit. So, the play went how I went, and it was good for the Miners.
The Miners managed just 3 points in the first half, thanks to a 39-yard field goal by El Paso native Carlos Arreola. Texas answers late in the first half as Manning scores a 5-yard rushing touchdown in the final seconds, extending Texas's lead to 14-3 at the break. In the second half, UTEP's offensive struggles continue. Down 17-3, Malachi Nelson trying to lead UTEP up the field. He's picked off by Grayson Littleton. That was one of 2 interceptions Nelson threw in the game.
There was a lot of good. I thought there was a lot of bad, mostly on my part. In these types of games, you got to protect the football. I didn't do a very good job of that today. I ultimately got to put my team in a better position to be successful and to score points.
Texas tacks on 3 points off the turnover. In the fourth quarter, Manning connects with Trey Wingo for a touchdown, putting Texas up 27-3. UTEP held Manning to completing less than half of his 25 passes. On the flip side of that, he racked up 165 yards of total offense and 3 total touchdowns.
I think he's phenomenal in the zone read game. He makes you honest in the quarterback run game. I'm just telling you, they're going to be a really hard team to defend because they're 1 or 2 clicks away from figuring that out over there.
Late in the fourth, UTEP's offense finally found some life. Franklin High School grad Shea Smith scored UTEP's only touchdown of the game. UTEP battled hard in its 27-10 loss to Texas. The defense played well, while the offense needs to improve. Overall, a promising effort from the Miners against one of the best teams in the nation.
We learned what we can be. We learned we can be. We can be very dominant. This is a really good team, and I'm very happy that I'm a part of this team.
There's not going to be a more talented team that we play than Texas, and that's not a slight against anybody else that we play. It's just, this team is really stinking good, man. They're really talented. So we should look at the tape, and we should say, if we choose as a staff and as a program to bring the level of focus, intensity, and execution and effort, then we'll be able to compete with whoever we play.
Reporting in Austin, Sam Guzman, KTSM 9 Sports.
Sam, thank you. Turning to New Mexico State football, Aggies also on the road for its first away competition of the year, doubling as its Conference USA opener against Louisiana Tech over in Ruston, Louisiana. Aggies suffering its first loss of the season, falling to the Bulldogs 49-14. Taking a glance back at what went wrong, NMSU would give up 24 unanswered points in the first 20 minutes of play alone. NMSU in an early hole. Aggies slowly start chipping away, putting up its first score at the 9:46 mark in the second quarter. Logan Fife on the 41-yard pass to Broderick Malone for Malone's first TD in an Aggie uniform and put New Mexico State up on the board, trailing 24-7. Now before break, they bring themselves right back into the game. PJ Johnson III able to reel this one in on the 38-yard reception. NMSU trailing by 10, headed into the locker room at half, 24-14, but this would be it for its offense. In the second half, Aggies give up 3 turnovers in the final 2 quarters of play. Fife with 2 costly interceptions in addition to a strip sack, which will result in the scoop and score for La Tech. Bulldogs with another 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter alone. Aggies defense giving up 574 yards of total offense on the day, while its own offense will collect 308, 281 of which came from its pass game. Its run attack struggling yet again with just 27 yards on the ground. Here's what head coach Tony Sanchez had to say about his team by the end of the night.
Disappointing game. I mean, it's I don't know if I've ever been involved in a game that was a winnable game going in the fourth quarter and lost so bad. Our tackling was atrocious tonight. I mean, that was as bad of a tackling performance as I've been around. I'm not really sure where that came from, but obviously that's on us as coaches, not doing a good enough job getting our guys prepared. Offensively, we had 2 drives early on deep in their side of the field, got 0 points out of both of those 2 missed long field goals. They were long field goals. We were able to kind of get some footing and came out in the second half, and we got a bunch of 3-and-outs in a row. Had great opportunities to go ahead and cut that to a 6-point game, and we didn't do anything with it. I mean, I know that we were close to 300 yards at half offense, and I don't think we got much more than that. So it was a pitiful performance in the second half offensively. It was a pitiful performance first half defensively, and we just got to do a better job of coaches, and it starts with me.
After its first 2-0 start since the 2014 season, this loss NMSU now moves to 2-1 after week 3. They will now head on a bye before they head up to its rival's house, New Mexico, the week following. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
In matters of the heart, we believe it's a journey we take together.
All right, well, thanks for sticking around after the game. That's going to do it for me. But make sure to stay tuned for KTSM 9 News at 10. That's where we're going to reveal our our 9 overtime game of the week for week 4. But for now, I'm going to send things over to the desk, over to Andy Morgan.
Kelly, thank you. Great job. That's right. KTSM 9 News at 10 starts in just a few minutes. And here's a preview of some of the stories that you can expect. An El Paso man who has spent more than 3 decades on death row and was supposed to be executed earlier this year is set to appear before a judge tomorrow. We'll have the latest on what to expect in tomorrow's court hearing. And El Paso police are looking for 2 people who allegedly stole thousands of dollars worth of merchandise at an El Paso beauty store, who police are describing you should be on the lookout for. We have all that and more along with your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis coming up on KTSM 9 News at 10. Stay with us.
dedicated to being your trusted financial partner. We care about our members' financial well-being.
It's been a quiet night across the El Paso region, but that will soon change as monsoon season isn't over yet. Thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10. I'm Andy Morgan. Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis is here to tell us about the big change, get our week started off right. And Robert, what kind of storms are we looking at tomorrow?
Well, just like my fantasy football league says, storm coming.
All right.
All right. That will be tomorrow. But it will be interesting because really only one half of the county has a good shot at some thunder showers by late tomorrow afternoon. 90 our official high temperature today. We took a day off from storms after Saturday's severe weather. Normal this time of year, 89, record 98. Here's a look at the airport right now. We're 79 degrees. Beautiful night, clear skies. Calm wind right now, dew point at 54, so the moisture is available. We need a trigger to kick all that off. Now, we saw some storms well to the east of us earlier today around Hudspeth County. We stayed quiet. Well, tomorrow, the eastern half of El Paso County has the best chance of isolated storms, and some of those storms could produce some brief heavy rainfall. We'll have a few showers on a cooler Tuesday, and we'll have a beautiful Wednesday. I'm going to have your detailed 9-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Andy.
Robert, thank you. The El Paso man who has spent more than 30 years on death row and was supposed to die earlier this year is set to appear before a judge tomorrow in El Paso. David Leonard Wood is convicted of killing 6 girls and young women. Their bodies were found buried in the desert in northeast El Paso. He was convicted of capital murder in 1992 and has been on death row since 1993. According to court records, he's set to have a status conference hearing, and that'll be virtually at 9 a.m. The hearing will likely outline a schedule for motions and future hearings. You may remember back in March, a Texas appeals court halted the execution of Wood just days before he was supposed to die by lethal injection. Now, the court put Wood's execution on pause until further notice, but didn't explain the decision to do so. El Paso police are asking for your help in finding 2 people who stole over $4,000 of merchandise at a beauty store in Far East El Paso. According to police, this happened back on July 26th when a man and a woman entered an Ulta beauty store on Joe Battle. Police say the 2 placed items inside a bag and then fled the store without paying. The man is described as a Hispanic in his late teens or early 20s. The other suspect is described as a white or Hispanic woman in her late teens or early 20s. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers of El Paso at the number you see on your screen. A 20-year-old woman is facing manslaughter charges for a crash that killed a motorcyclist in East El Paso. El Paso police say they have arrested Marissa Arlene Dominguez. And according to police, Dominguez was on the freeway when she rear-ended 48-year-old Alejandro Rodriguez, causing him to be thrown off his bike. He died at the scene. Rodriguez worked at the El Paso International Airport assisting passengers. And you may recall this scene right here. The crash happened along I-10 West at the exit ramp to Don Haskins Drive around 2:30 in the morning on August 31st. Dominguez was booked on a $100,000 bond. From our Austin newsroom, Texas is investing in rural health care as Governor Greg Abbott signed a pair of bills earlier this week. Adam Schwager breaks down how these new laws can help rural Texans get better and faster healthcare experience.
According to the Texas Association of Rural and Community Hospitals, over 20 rural hospitals have closed in the last 15 years, leaving communal holes in healthcare. On Tuesday, Abbott signed a pair of bills to bolster the industry. The first, a sprawling bill known as the Rural Healthcare Stabilization and Innovation Act, an all-encompassing approach to improve the bottom line of rural hospitals. This includes grants for hospitals at risk of closing, grants for hospitals facing emergency hardships, grants for rural hospital innovation, and grants for rural hospital long-term stability and support.
It grants $172 million in new funding, and then continued that with $52 million for funding for existing programs.
Abbott then signed a bill establishing the Rural Ambulance Service Grant Program to address what are called ambulance deserts, where the nearest ambulance station is at least 25 miles away. Right now, nearly 95% of Texas counties have at least one ambulance desert, which this bill attempts to change. Abbott says he understands the importance, recalling a medical crisis that changed his life.
I can vividly remember like it was yesterday when that tree hit me in the back and fractured my vertebrae and my spinal cord, and I was laying on the ground awaiting an ambulance to pick me up. For me, I was only 2 miles from the Houston Medical Center, but it seemed like it took 2 days. What's happening to the people in all of our rural reaches across the entire state of Texas, I cannot even comprehend.
These bills were actually already law as of September 1st, and this signing builds off a conversation had a month ago when U.S. Secretary of Human and Health Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. showed up to the Capitol to pledge funding for rural hospitals across the nation. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
A $165 billion data center could become a reality in Doña Ana County. Coming up, why officials are working to make sure neighbors are informed before they potentially break ground. Plus, how about them Cowboys? Yeah, Dallas winning a thriller today over the Giants. We just can't get enough of these highlights. Those are coming up a little bit later in sports. Thanks for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10, putting local first.
$5,800 on this Sierra 1500 model. See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Andy, would you do me the honor of reading this quote from 1996?
I predict the Buffalo Bills will win that Super Bowl.
And who made that quote?
Robert Bettis, football lover.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure.
When a news anchor reads it, suddenly it becomes all that more real.
I'm pretty sure they didn't win the Super Bowl that year.
To my
In fact,
understanding,
I
don't think they won since 1996.
Yeah. They went to 4 straight in the 90s. I remember that much.
So this is the year.
I picked them. I know you picked them.
Okay.
They look good so far.
They do look good. They look great.
Yeah.
That squeaker of a win.
Last week, yeah.
How about that? All right. Who loves the football? You're looking at him. #1 football lover. Let's get you some rain totals. We had some thunder showers on Saturday night. In fact, even a severe storm that cropped up right around Santa Teresa moved right through Cañetillo, over the west side of town and into the northeast side of town. Those winds were at over 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail in the core of the storm. But what did it put in the official rain gauge? Only 0.01. So our total for the year is still 4.15 inches. Fall begins a week from tomorrow at 12:19 in the afternoon. Summer is over. Official high temperature today, 90 degrees. What a gorgeous day. Partly cloudy skies. We took a day off from storms. I do believe those thunderstorms come back at us by late tomorrow afternoon. One thing changes. It depends on which side of the county you're on. Will tell you if you have a good chance or not such a good chance. I'll show you. Here are the high temperatures today. 85 Las Cruces, 90 for Juarez, 88 Deming, 84 Alamogordo, 72 in Ruidoso. Satellite radar composite, we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms down here south and east of the El Paso area earlier today, but we stayed dry and quiet tomorrow. I see that moisture charging back up, especially for Hudspeth County. It is going to be very stormy there. One half, the eastern half of our county, will have a good chance of late-day thunderstorms with a slight chance over on the west side as well. Not as good of a chance up in Las Cruces for tomorrow. 73 is the temperature in Las Cruces. Right now we've got a wind at 5 miles per hour and we've got a dew point of 51, which is 46%. Relative humidity. Enjoy this beautiful night with clear skies. Temperatures in your area right now of winds are nearly calm. We're going to wake up to just perfection in the morning, but then we'll see the afternoon clouds build. Here's your 9-hour forecast. By late day, we'll have that chance of isolated thunderstorms, some bringing brief heavy rainfall, mainly on the east side of El Paso County. Your allergy forecast not good. 12 is the highest number it can be for allergens. Lows tonight going down to 54 Silver City, 59 Deming, 68 for Juarez. Highs 88 Alamogordo, 90 for Deming, and 91 for Juarez. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 61. Clear skies tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. I looked at your profile, very slight chance of an isolated area storm. For us, that chance gets better tomorrow. 68 our low tonight and clear. We'll have a high temperature of 91, very muggy in the afternoon. And then eastern part of the county has the best chance to see some late day and evening thunderstorms. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Tuesday, will be cloudy with just a slight chance of a couple of showers. 87 the high, 88 on partly cloudy on Wednesday. Beautiful. Isolated storms Thursday and Friday, and then those thunder showers roar back on Saturday with a high of 93, 96 on Sunday. Don't go anywhere. More KTSM 9 News. Come again.
Texas, driven everywhere.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a rugged new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for $249 a month for 36 months. Offer ends September 30th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Well, in case you missed it, a $165 billion data center could become a reality in Doña County. But first, officials are working to make sure neighbors are informed. The proposed multi-billion-dollar proposal, dubbed Project Jupiter, is backed by an Austin-based firm. They want to build a data center in Santa Teresa, just north of the port of entry. Last month, the county commission voted to advance the deal with the firm. Borderplex Digital Assets, which is the company behind the center, says the facility could result in 750 permanent jobs and $300 million in direct payments to the county. However, others are skeptical the project cost would end up falling on residents.
I share the same concerns with these people. I share the same hurting. But how are we going to find out if we don't go to these meetings, if we attend, if we educate ourselves to what they're telling us?
It's not going to happen overnight, but these guys are willing to invest $300 million into your water. It might not fix it right away, but it's a step,
The project is also fueling concerns over the center draining utility resources from the community, namely water and electricity. The Doña County Commission will make a final decision on the project September 19th on whether or not to issue an industrial revenue bond to the company. Well, don't go anywhere. Kelly's up next with our big 9 overtime game of the week reveal. Stay with us.
Ktsm 9 and Newsenda Credit Union present this week's High School Student of the Week.
Hi, my name is Leonardo Gomez. I'm a junior at Del Valle High School. Future Business Leaders of America is the largest student-led organization in America teaching students about business. I've been in FBLA in 3 years, and what I do in FBLA is I'm the Area 2 State Vice President for Texas FBLA, and Texas FBLA has helped me come out of my comfort zone and connect with people not only across my area, but across Texas. Giving back to the community is something I strongly believe in, which is why I, along with 2 other people, founded Operation Water Spring. Operation Water Spring is a community service project that's focused on collecting water bottles and hygiene products for not only adults but kids here in El Paso, where we could donate them to homeless shelters as well as collect donations for an AC unit to donate to a local shelter. In the future, I plan to attend the University of Texas at Austin and major in political science because I want to make sure that not only people in my community but across the nation are fairly represented in our government. What motivates me is my mom and my dad, who always tell me to never give up on my goals and to always pursue them, and my teachers here at Del Valle High School, Ms. Mendoza and Ms. Gomez, who I can go to for advice and support.
I'm Andy Morgan. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
And now, KTSM 9 Sports with Kelly Horson, sponsored by Glasheen Vyas and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
After falling to the Eagles in Week 1, the Cowboys look to get into the win column for the first time this season in Week 2, taking on the New York Giants. This was earlier today. Giants versus Cowboys, a classic rivalry. Great game, picking things up in the fourth quarter. 6:14 to go, 23-20 New York. Dallas on the 4-yard line. Miles Sanders on the carry for the touchdown will put Dallas in front 27-23. 2:50 to go in the game. Russell Wilson looking a lot more comfortable in a Giants uniform this week. Airs it out to Wan'Dale Robinson. Giants will take back its lead 30-27 at this point. 55 seconds on the clock. Dak Prescott to George Pickens on the 6-yard reception. This is Pickens' first TD for Dallas on the year. Cowboys back in front 34-30, and game is still not over. 33 seconds. Wilson deep ball once again. This one is going to go to Malik Neighbors on the double coverage, and he's going to bring this one in for 6 points. 37-34 New York back on top. Now Cowboys' last drive of the game will get them to the 64-yard line. Brandon Aubrey looking to tie the game on the field goal attempt will nail this one to send it into OT. And what better way to end the game than the man who sent this one into overtime to begin with? Another Aubrey field goal, this one on the 46-yarder, and Dallas will take its 9th straight against New York, defeating the Giants 40-37 in OT earlier today. And now it's time for our 9 overtime game of the week reveal for week 4 of the season. This week's competition will be highlighted by the Eastwood Troopers taking on the El Dorado Aztecs. Troopers enter the matchup 2-1. The Aztecs undefeated, riding a 3-in-row record into Friday night. Eastwood is most recently coming off of a win against Odessa, its only loss of the year, coming on the road against a strong John Bosco team, while El Dorado has dominated nearly every single competition so far this year, taking its win by a minimum of 15 points so far. Kickoff between the two is set for Friday at 6:30 p.m. from SAC 2. And in case you missed any of our college coverage from the weekend, New Mexico State and UTEP, make sure to head to our website at ktsm.com. That's your relook at sports here at 10 p.m. or KTSM.
Hair and wardrobe provided by.
Would you like to be a weather watcher? Ed, what have you captured here? Ah, yes, Saturday evening storm near Doña Ana. We had that severe one that looked a lot like that, only a lot blacker. News at ktsm.com. Thank you. Keep them coming. Your 9-day forecast. Tomorrow, high temperature 91 degrees with isolated storms. If you live near Hudspeth County, eastern part of the county, you'll have a better chance than the west side tomorrow. But there's a chance for everybody in county. Expect a slight chance of showers on Tuesday, cooler at 87, 88 on Wednesday, and then isolated storms Thursday, Friday. Saturday is looking as though it will bring the best chance of thunder showers. So Ed might be out there capturing another fantastic storm again. Sunday, 96, 95 on Monday.
How's it feel to get your, I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, but it seems like you're safe. First fantasy win of your life.
How's it feel?
Is that done? Is that official?
It might as well be.
Feels great.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?
Sunny side upsets.
I really need to watch some football.
Talk about an upset.
You shouldn't have said that. Now everyone knows. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.